Welcome back to Mac's Garage. Today I'm sitting here in front of a tractor. It's a 1963 Massey Ferguson 35. So I picked this up the other night and long story short, I tried to take some video, but my nighttime filming needs a lot of work. So I didn't put most of what I have on the internet. There is a little bit on a video where it's just bad ideas that I had in one single night to do a bunch of stuff that I probably shouldn't have. But this is going to be more or less about this tractor. And as with pretty much anything I introduce on this channel, this tractor needs a little bit of work. Now, I will say that I have used this every day for the past week. It runs fairly decent and all that stuff, but I'll give you a walk around and I'll kind of talk about some things that I've noticed that I know need attention on this 60-year-old tractor. We'll start out with just kind of an overview here. This is a 1963. I don't think it's ever really been babied. I'm sure it was at some point. But some of the highlights here is we've got pretty good rubber at all four corners. It came with a set of chains that maybe aren't exactly right for this tractor, but they're close enough, they work. I should tie those up so they're a little bit tighter on the tires, but honestly they're fine for what I'm doing. And the front tires are also in good shape. The loader works. 3-point hit, or not the 3-point, the majigger there in the middle. The PTO cap is actually on the tractor, so I assume that whatever under there has been is in okay shape, but maybe it's a big ball of rust and that's not going to work. I hope it does, because that's kind of one of the reasons I bought this. Let's see, keep going. Before I move on, the 3-point hitch, I haven't put any weight on it yet, but that seems to work pretty nice. The brakes both work and seem to be fairly even as far as function. Today I used it to move a crate engine in, so it is what it is. The loader has a separate hydraulic pump, which is run off of that drive shaft down through the center there, off the front of the engine. It's got a fairly new alternator on it. The exhaust seems to be functional, but all right. So I guess that's kind of the overview. The hour meter here is showing 2,500 hours. It doesn't work. Who knows how long it's been since it worked. The patina on here is pretty good, so if you're looking for something when we start to get some hipster tractor sales, this has got a good look to it. What I've done so far is simply just peel the light that was on this bracket off and mount this one up, which I haven't even wired it yet. And I went ahead and I dumped some carburetor rebuild kit inside the fuel tank. So that's essentially rebuilt now. It does actually run. The more I run it, the better it's running. And I would say that that is probably because of the seafoam. I plan to do, that's it. That's all I've done. Those two things. I keep running it. I plan to do some electrical work on this tractor. So as of right now, one of the things that's kind of a pain is if you leave the battery hooked up, it goes dead. And part of that, I'm sure, is because there are lights in a couple of these gauges on the dash that stay lit up if you have the battery hooked up. Honestly, that's the biggest issue I've got with this thing right now is the electrical system. It does start, it does run, but I want to be able to unhook the battery, or I want to be able to leave the battery hooked up and not have it go dead in like a day and a half. And I'd also like to have lights that function off of, I guess I could try to hook them up the factory way. or I can hook them into a switch in the spot where this already has a switch. So I haven't gotten up inside of this dash at all, but I'm fairly certain it's going to be kind of a mess. And yeah, all right. So now on to my big complaints on this tractor. One of them is we're on the left side of the tractor, and here are the controls. So that means that I can't get on and off the left side of the unit here, which if you're used to operating anything in the US, you get on and off the left side. Motorcycles, cars, horses, anything you get on and off, tractors, you typically use the left side. So this one's on the right or on the left side, which means I have to get on and off this tractor from the right. And as I do that, I will eventually get used to it and then start screwing up everything else. But as of right now, I walk up to this side, realize I can't get it on here, and walk around and get onto the tractor. So that is one of my biggest complaints, and there's really nothing I can do about it. The hydraulic oil tank is right here in this arm of the loader, and the hoses are run internally in the arms of the loader. So I am not changing this over to the other side. It just is what it is, and that is probably the most annoying thing I've got about this tractor. Yeah. So other than that, I like it. It's pretty good. Wouldn't hurt to have power steering on a loader tractor, but you can't have everything you want. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. No grill in it either, but that's all right. So that's a quick overview of my 1963 Massey Ferguson 35. So I guess kind of a fun little fact here is the Massey Ferguson 35 was the first Massey Ferguson. And it's largely a holdover from a Ferguson tractor that then they started building under the Massey Ferguson name. But it is the first Massey Ferguson branded tractor that was sold, at least in the US. I believe that's a worldwide thing. Massey Ferguson is a brand that still to this day, at least when I'm making this video, sells tractors worldwide. Yeah, so that's kind of a neat thing. It's old. This model came out in the 50s. It's old, but it just kind of works. It does basically what I need it to do. I'd like to mount a snowblower on the back of it, but I need to find one in the right size range, in the right price range, you know, all that good stuff. So snowblower, the whirly thing that cuts stuff, brush hog, there we go, back blade, all that stuff is stuff that I'd like to get. I do have a concrete filled 55-gallon drum that'll mount onto the 3-point to give it a little bit of ballast. That's going to be good to take a little bit of weight off these front tires with the loader, make it a little bit easier to turn. And honestly, that is the biggest reason I would do it. That and the fact that it doesn't take a lot of weight in the bucket to unload those rears and make it not really want to go. So yeah, that's really it for this right now. If you want to see more about this Massey Ferguson 35 or other stuff that I'm doing on the channel, hit that like, share, subscribe. As always, that helps me out and I appreciate it. So thank you, and I will see you later.